Hello everyone. Welcome to EPG Pathshala. This module is on the author Anita Rao Badami's Can You Hear the Nightbird Call? The author of this module is Dr. Shagota Bhattacharya. I am Dhiman Bhattacharya, Assistant Professor of Comparative Literature, Center for Comparative Literature, Bhasha Bhavan, Vishwabharati. The novel that we will be dealing with right now is Can You Hear the Nightbird Call? Can You Hear the Nightbird Call is set against the tumultuous background of violence in India, particularly in Punjab. The novel spans across both India and Canada and touches upon the tragic milestones of the Komagata Maru incident. The partition, the assassination of Indira Gandhi and the subsequent riots throughout the country, and finally the Air India tragedy. Anita Rao Badami. Anita Rao Badami is a first-generation immigrant writer of the Indian origin in Canada. She is regarded as one of the most prominent South Asian Canadian writers. The other books by this reputed author Anita Rao Badami are Tamarind Mem 1997, The Hero's Walk 2001, Tell It to the Trees 2011. South Asian Canadian literature. SACLIT. South Asians started migrating to Canada since the 1960s, when the Canadian government was contemplating the introduction of multiculturalism as a state policy. The Canadian Immigration Acts of 1962 and 1967 respectively saw a large influx of South Asian immigrants into the nation. The emergence of literature written by the South Asian diaspora was witnessed in the 1970s, but it remained in the formative stages for a long time. There has been a consistent problem of situating this body of texts vis-a-vis the corpus of Canadian literature. It has remained outside the mainstream and has been referred to as SACLIT, South Asian Canadian literature, in the initial years. When the need for a nurturing ground was essential, the term SACLIT has proved to be a blanket term. The concerned writers had themselves wanted to foster this sense of homogeneity and to forge their identity as a group, defining themselves against the hostile host culture. Let's concentrate on the main characters in Can You Hear the Nightbird Call? The main characters are Sharanjit Kaur, better known as BBG, Leela, Nemo, Jasbir. The story of BBG merges with the lives of two other women, Leela and Nemo. Leela is BBG's neighbor in Canada. Leela helps BBG to get united with her niece and thus their lives converge. Nemo is BBG's niece. In the novel, BBG coaxes her and her husband Satpal to give up their son Jasbir to her. Of all the South Asian people who migrated in Canada for better opportunities, a group of people dedicated their lives in narrating the struggles of their own people in their cultural works. Depending on the generic configurations, we have authors, we have writers, we have playwrights who have contributed in their own way, especially from the South Asian origins, to talk about their situation in Canada. Anita Rao Badami is one of those leading writers in Canada who documented the various efforts of her community in trying to adopt this new homeland. History being one of the major regulating factors that determined the new adopted homeland, there are several incidents in India that has been reflected in the structure of the novel. In the characterization also, we find various efforts on the part of the author to portray their reality of actually having this dual existence or cohabiting both the places at the same time, that is, the adopted homeland and the land that they left behind. BBG. Saranjit Kaur, better known as BBG, is the central character of the novel. Though born in a poor family, she was determined to take her destiny in her own hands and find success in life. Her father was haunted by a dream of stepping into the soil of Canada. Regarded as a worthless man by his family, the poor Harjot Singh had little idea how the infectious dream of settling foot on the Canadian soil has affected his little daughter since she was a mere baby. Defiant and resolute, Saranjit lost no time in grabbing the opportunity when it came. It was a marriage alliance bought for her elder sister in which she saw the golden opportunity of realizing her dream. BBG was haunted by a curse, her inability to bear a child. Years later, when she happened to meet her niece Nimmo by chance, she coaxed her into giving up her son Jasbir to her. With the adoption of Jasbir, her only unrealized dream now became realized and she considered herself to be complete. Little had she dreamt that this step would eventually lead her to a tremendous shock and a lifelong grief. Leela. Leela is BBG's neighbor in Vancouver, a fellow immigrant who had migrated from India to Canada. Born of a German mother and a Hindu father, Leela had considered her existence in Bangalore as an uncomfortable one. Her white skin, a gift from her pale German mother, was the prime deterrent in her way of finding herself one with the Hindu family on her father's side. Unable to continue as an outsider, Leela had thought it prudent to break away by getting married. After her mother's death, she persuaded her husband Balu to migrate to Canada, where she hoped to be accepted warmly. It was the age of Trudeau's policy of multiculturalism. Immigrants were being accepted cordially from all parts of the world. However, to Leela's dismay, the situation was not much different from that in India. Leela found herself as unacceptable in Canada as she had been in India. Nimmo. Nimmo is the 6-year-old child whose mother Kanwar Kaur disappears in the aftermath of the violence that ensued during the partition of India in 1947. She grew up knowing that she had an aunt called Saranjit Kaur who is settled in Vancouver, Canada. Not unlike her mother, Nimmo had been subjected to poverty since her childhood and was married off to Satpal in her youth. They have children and unlike her aunt, Nimmo found satisfaction in whatever fate gifted her. However, Satpal decides to migrate to Canada in search of a better fortune and ends up being a taxi driver. It was while taking a passenger from the airport he learned that she was the neighbor of Saranjit Kaur, the woman who was indeed Nimmo's closest relative. Through the mediation of Leela, Saranjit meets Satpal and travels to Punjab, where she manages to coax the couple in giving up their son Jasbir to her. Nimmo had dreamt of a bright future for her son and decided to agree to her aunt's proposal for the sake of his future. She spends the rest of her life in the agony of having lost her son and of her helplessness in finding no way to bring him back. Years later, she lay on her deathbed in the dark, gloomy room where she had spent most of her life. The joyous memories of her husband and her son came back to her. Jasbir. Jasbir comes to Canada as an 8-year-old boy. His parents, Satpal and Nimmo, had entrusted him to the care of Bibiji, Nimmo's affluent aunt living in Vancouver. Even as a child, Jasbir had resented the idea of growing up in a country where he considered himself a misfit. He grew up as a resentful young man who hated everything Canadian. He found pleasure in disobeying Bibiji's order and soon found himself getting mixed up with separatist politics going on back home. The revenge killings of Sikh post Mrs. Gandhi's assassination fueled the anger of the extremists who decided on to their next course of action to plant a bomb in the Air India flight. Emperor Kanishka Jasbir was one of the prime accused, but he was eventually let off for lack of evidence. He decided to return to India and pay the penalty for his crime. It was only after the crime had been committed that he came to realize its magnitude and decided to spend the rest of his life trying to undo what he had done. His gesture of repentance also unites him with his biological mother, whom he had misunderstood as a child. So, as we have all known by now that the policy of multiculturalism and the push and pull factors that brought people from across the world to Canada for better opportunities, India as a nation and people of Indian origins were not far behind. Many of them had left a critical history behind to adopt a new history in their adopted homeland, that is Canada. The favorable soil of Canada during Trudeau's regime had actually invited many people, and they felt that this new homeland will welcome them as they were. The moment they immigrated in this country, tried to adopt the new soil, they knew that they were somehow outsiders because of their skin colors. It is interesting to note that the characters that we encounter in Badami's novel, especially the central character Bibiji, Nimmo, Jasbir, all of them had at some point in their lives migrated to Canada with their own idea about their homeland and this adopted land. But they somehow get involved in the wider politics of both the nations. The partition of India, or be it the assassination of Mrs. Gandhi, that affected the wider politics of the resistance in this new adopted homeland. The major events that contributed in the formation of a narrative in Badami are the Komagata Maru incident 1914, Khalistan movement, the partition of India, the Air India tragedy of 1985. Can You Hear the Nightbird Call is set against the tumultuous backdrop of violence in India, particularly in Punjab. The novel spans across both India and Canada and touches upon the tragic milestone of the Komagata Maru incident, the partition, the assassination of Indira Gandhi, and the subsequent riots throughout the country, and finally the Air India tragedy. The Komagata Maru incident. The Komagata Maru was a Japanese ship that was chartered from Hong Kong by an affluent businessman called Gurdeep Singh in 1914. There were approximately 376 passengers on board, out of which 24 were Muslims, 12 Hindus, and the rest Sikhs. The Punjabi community welcomed the Sikhs but prevented the others from disembarking. The ship was held captive for 2 months. After much negotiation, 18 to 20 passengers actually managed to step into the mainland of Canada. The rest remained on the ship without food and adequate water. Finally, on July 23rd, it was sent back to where it came from. On September 26th, the ship reached Bajbaj, where it was again denied entry at the port. A scuffle took place between the agitated passengers and the police, which ultimately led to the loss of 20 innocent lives. Khalistan movement. Khalistan was to be a utopic land of the Khalsa movement. The Sikh religion was founded by Guru Nanak in the 15th century and the community was known as Khalsa, which means the pure. The map on the slide actually gives an idea about the exact location of the Khalistan movement. Operation Blue Star, 1984, 3rd to 8th June. In the 1980s, due to differences in between the Indian government and the Sikhs over land and water rights, Punjab was transformed into a fractured battleground. The violence reached its peak in June 1984 when the then Prime Minister Mrs. Indira Gandhi ordered the army to enter the Golden Temple at Amritsar in an attempt to rid it of groups of armed militants who had taken shelter within the temple. In the ensuing battle, the temple was damaged and many militants, soldiers, and several hundreds of ordinary pilgrims were killed. The assassination of Indira Gandhi. The anger generated by the invasion of the Golden Temple resulted in the assassination of Mrs. Gandhi by her two Sikh bodyguards in October 1984. This is in turn precipitated the systematic revenge killings of innocent Sikhs throughout India. The Air India tragedy, 1985. Less than 1 year after the invasion of the Golden Temple, in June 1985, Air India Flight 182 Emperor Kanishka en route from Canada to India via London exploded over the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Ireland. All 329 passengers on board were killed. The partition of India. The partition of India was a historical event that took place in August 1947 when the geographical landmass of India was politically divided into halves. The northern portion of Punjab with a Muslim majority came to be known as West Pakistan, and the eastern portion of Bengal, better known as East Bengal, came to be regarded as East Pakistan. It was known as East Pakistan till 1971 when it was liberated and became a separate nation called Bangladesh. So, as we know that each literary text is in itself an event in history, subsequently, through its unveiling, it disturbs the structure of the novel or it engages with other forms of histories which is inbuilt into the structure of the novel. Here, in this particular novel by Badami, we encounter major historical events that disturbed the politics of the South Asian region. Primarily, India was divided into several halves and partition played a major role that segregated communities within India. There were other major historical events like the Operation Blue Star, the Komagata Maru incident, which resulted into discontent amongst various groups within the country. As this novel primarily deals with the Sikhs, The historical events that directly contributed in the discontent among the Sikhs plays a major role in understanding the formulation or the structure of the novel and its characters.